There are a lot of things that I don't know about, and one of my big knowledge gaps is handheld interview mics. Because even with mics I'm familiar with, there's so much to consider when it comes to sound quality, pickup patterns, handling noise, gain requirements, all of these things that make a good interview microphone. So I wanted to test and compare some handheld microphones in real world situations to see which ones perform the best and why people often use the ones that they do. And it might seem simple because, for example, the Shure SM58, I was pretty sure that this is like a default microphone. So why not just use this? Why use something like the Sennheiser MD46, for example? But then you come to realize, even though both of these microphones sound fantastic, if you decide to put a windscreen on the Shure and if you decide to dress it up with a mic flag, there's not a lot of handling space. You gotta be very dainty here with this microphone, whereas something like the Sennheiser MD46, I can pop a mic flag onto it, I can pop a pop filter or a windscreen onto it, and I still have a ton of space to actually grip the microphone. And something I noticed, in addition to that, I don't have to stretch and put the microphone into somebody's face as much, put my whole hand into somebody's face. Because the microphone is longer, there's a little bit less reach that needs to be done, which is more comfortable for me as the interviewer and also less invasive to the person I'm talking to. So there's all these little factors like that factor in to making a good handheld interview microphone. So what I decided to do in order to test this out was to pack up all of these microphones, which is more than any normal sane person should ever travel with, and take them to NAB in Las Vegas, because the NAB show floor with all the vendors and all the people is an incredibly crowded and loud and signal-rich environment where there's UHF and 2.4 gigahertz and 5.8 and everything just everywhere all at once. And I wanted to know how these different microphones would perform in those different circumstances. And I also wanted to bring a few that you would not ever normally use as a handheld interview microphone, just to see why. Why don't we use some microphones and why do we use other microphones instead? I genuinely wanted to find out.
The first mic I have with my special guest, my wife Heather, is the Sennheiser MD46. And where are we?
We're at NAB.
And we're at the Sennheiser booth
At NAB.
at NAB. So what I'm doing right now is I am doing a thing that I don't know if you're supposed to do all the time, but I'm talking into the mic, and when you're talking...
Then you point it to me, and then I talk into the mic.
Right, which this microphone is very directional, so when I'm talking and I move it over here, you shouldn't hear me as much.
And now you should hear me.
And then there we go. And because we were talking with Ryan from Rode earlier, who was saying that sometimes you don't need to do this with certain mics, like omnidirectional ones, but it's a psychological trick that you play on somebody where you not play, but it's a prompting tool. I can say question,
and I will give the answer once you do that.
Because I point that. For example,
Yes.
Heather, what year were you born?
1985.
I was also born in 1985. What was do you remember the first CD or tape that you ever bought?
Okay. The first music tape that I bought was Sublime.
Ooh.
Did you know that?
I knew you had it. I didn't know it was the first one, actually.
Yeah, no, the first CD was the Grease soundtrack because I needed it for Cheer.
Okay.
the one year I did Cheer. But no, the first tape was Sublime.
Wow. That is sublime information right there. I don't know where we go from here. Hopefully we don't go the wrong way from this booth.
Oh, you did that.
I did that. And now I'm going to hold the mic in between us and see what it sounds like when I don't move the mic back and forth. So this has been the Sennheiser MD46 with my lovely wife Heather, being filmed by the one and only Bronson from Audio Hotline.
Whoop.
And now, stepping out from behind the camera, I've got Bronson from Audio Hotline with the Shure SM58. Hello.
Hey, how's it going? Yeah, one of the most classic microphones ever.
This is, I had to confirm with Bronson because my brain is mush right now, also a cardioid pickup pattern. So that means to pick him up, I kind of need to be...
Yeah, right in front of me, yeah. For sure.
If I hold the microphone like this, you probably can hear both of us, but neither of us are going to sound our absolute best, I don't think. Especially because we're on this show floor where it's busy and loud. My question for you is, do you mind me asking what year you were born?
91.
Okay, that's the year I started kindergarten. What is, or do you remember the first musical piece of physical media you bought?
This is going to sound weird, but it was a DMX CD.
Yeah.
You know what I wasn't expecting?
That? Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, no, I was kind of into rap back in the day when I was young. I don't know.
Wait, okay, sorry. You were born in 91. What year was this?
Actually, that's a good question. My sister had to buy it because it had the parental advisory
Yeah.
thing. Calling her out. Mom and Dad, get her in trouble right now. You know, call her.
Oh.
But yeah, no, it was, I can't remember. Probably like 99.
Okay. Did you know after touring for a long time, DMX got so tired of audio issues on his tour that he designed his own cables?
I did not know that. That's insane.
DMXLRs. So when you see this microphone, which is absolutely not typically a practical handheld interview microphone like I'm using it right now, the Shure Super 55,
Yes.
what do you think of?
Like musician performers. Right?
Is there a specific one, perhaps associated with the city in which we are currently standing?
Oh no, I don't think of him.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why, and I don't know if I'm misremembering, but I feel like Justin Timberlake did a thing with this, but he can dance.
He's the
and
Elvis
he
of the
made it
21st
look
century.
good.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
that's the performance I think of.
I think what you're proving is that this microphone is absolutely like a classic.
A timeless. Yes.
It's also insanely heavy because it's not super fun to carry around a convention hall or travel on a plane with at all. But it's a cool looking microphone, and we're using it in Vegas. It is commonly known as the Elvis microphone. We're at the B&H booth for this thing here. This is a dynamic cardioid pickup pattern.
It's a cardio pickup.
And the Super 55 is even more directional than the regular 55. So this one I really gotta...
You have to point it.
Yeah, and if
Yes.
one of us is talking and I turn it, you
And
should
I'm
really
still talking, you
hear
should
our
be able to
voices
hear
change.
Me. Yes, and now we're gonna be.
It should
switching
change
it.
quite a bit. And it's cool to use this Vegas mic in Vegas because B&H are the ones who paid for us to come to Vegas. They covered our travel costs.
Thanks,
so
B&H.
this is our chance to say thank you for that. And they're the best. If you're into this stuff, you know B&H. I don't have to tell you that. But now back to T&H,
T&H.
which is us. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Okay, we talked about your first piece of media, your sublime entry into music.
Okay.
Do you remember your favorite, maybe your most formative TV show as a kid or a teen?
Yeah. Doug.
Oh, that's actually not what I thought you were going to say.
Really?
Yeah. Okay, tell me why you like Doug, because I love Doug too.
Because he's the best. I don't know. He wears like underwear on his head, and you get Quail Man, and he writes in his journal every night and reflects.
I had a journal because of Doug, for sure. And I even got a blue one because I think his was blue.
What did you think I was going to say?
I thought you were going to say Batman the Animated Series.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Okay.
But formative, Batman was just badass. But Doug was like, I feel like I would hang out with Doug.
One thing I've noticed using this microphone, which is, I was kind of wondering, why wouldn't you use a non-traditional microphone? If it's cool, why wouldn't you use it? And I don't know if you kind of see this situation here.
Can I hold it?
Yeah. Try to
right.
interview me.
Oh, yeah. Hi, babe.
It's very awkwardly shaped.
Well, I just have to go like this.
Yeah, you have to use your hand in this weird hook way.
Because it's not here.
Yeah, because it's a side address microphone.
This is why we don't do this.
This is probably one of the reasons
But
why.
Tom just likes to play around.
How could you? Why not? It's all about the coulda, not about the shoulda.
Dump.
This is the road reporter. So if you're a reporter on the road or just a normal person, this is an omnidirectional microphone.
Yeah, so it should pick us up very well.
So
both of
in
us.
theory, I shouldn't need to be moving it. I can be over here talking this way,
And then I can talk and it'll pick it up.
and then I don't have to move it. If I do move it and I talk into it, this is what it sounds like with my voice, and I move away.
And here's how it sounds on my voice.
I move away over here. This is not a new microphone, by the way. It's been around for quite a long time. Here, I'm going to put it in the middle. So with that in mind, here's a question. This is a question Heather and I had yesterday, and I'm really proud of myself for being correct. Okay.
I'm happy
It's a
for
thing
you.
that doesn't happen a lot. What do you think the most popular movie quote of all time is?
Most quoted line.
Ooh.
Most quoted movie line ever.
Yeah.
I'll be back.
Oh, that's a good one. Turns out the number one movie quote of all time is, "Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn."
Oh, okay.
From Gone with the Wind. The thing is, though, I don't know if those are going to continue to be the most popular movie quotes ever, right?
Yeah, it'll
Like,
change.
I don't know if a lot of Gen Alpha's watching Gone with the Wind.
Yeah, I'm not.
Which, by the way, took up 2 DVDs. Like how Titanic took 2 VHS tapes. It took 2 DVDs. So again, this is the Road Reporter, which is omnidirectional, which is why I've been keeping it in between us most of the time and not doing the back and forth thing. And now we're sure at a super cool place, the Shure booth.
It sure is great. Yeah.
Sure is. This is the SM7B, which, as you might not SM7B believe, is absolutely not designed to be used for this at all.
No, not at all, but it looks actually kind of awesome.
So what we've got here, this is a cardioid pickup pattern, so it's one that I need to move from my face to Bronson's face.
Yeah.
There we go, we go back and forth. To do this, I actually kind of like this more than I would have ever expected. There's just an extension tube handle for stability, a Technica CT1, which is just the cheapest booster I have, and then my Sennheiser EWDP transmitter, which has phantom power. So the crazy thing, you saw this before we started filming.
Yes.
This was too loud with the SM7B. I had to put a 20 decibel pad on the wireless thing because the SM7B was too loud.
That's insane. Like, most people are never going to have that issue.
Yeah. There's a couple of things here that are interesting, though. It's very loud, and I'm feeling like this mic might be doing a good job of not having an issue with that.
Oh, yeah, and like the handling noise on it is insane.
Like
it's
if you were to
great.
just grab the mic from me.
It feels really good. You can maneuver it around. And that's one thing in like broadcast studios, they'll like grab it and put it in front of their face and move it to the side a lot, and it doesn't pick it up.
And it kind of makes me think, as I did this as just a dumb idea, like what's the dumbest thing I could bring because it's the most impractical, and I kind of love this.
Oh yeah, I think it's actually kind of cool. Like, it's goofy, but I love it.
It's big. It's not like easy to carry, but it's like weighted really well.
Especially with that wireless unit on there, it's gonna like balance it out really well. Yeah.
It's like it looks like a Steadicam. But speaking of Steadicams, they use those to make movies. We talked about movie quotes a minute ago. We asked the most famous movie quote of all time. Do you know what the most famous movie quote of the past 20 years might be?
Ooh, I'm gonna go with this is not gonna be it, but I just want to say it. Hot Rod, Danny McBride says, "I've been drinking green tea all goddamn day." That's the one I'm going with.
I wish. Oh, here,
I'm just gonna. All right,
Yeah.
we're switching it
Sorry.
up. Everyone from Shure is looking at
I know
Tom
we're not supposed to be doing
like
this.
he's totally insane. Like, I see them all turning their heads, looking at this beautiful windscreen, and realizing that this is an SM7B, which should not be used like this.
But you didn't want Bronson to answer the question.
No, because I think you should ask somebody else. See if we can guess
Okay,
it.
okay. So now I have the wireless SM7B, but now we've switched to what transmitter are we using?
This is the SLX-D3 plug-on transmitter.
Because Shure saw me using the Sennheiser and they were like, sure, no way over here. I'm just kidding. They were just like, hey, you want to try this thing? And we were kind of like, yeah. And now I have a question for you. This is a very important question. Do you know what the most popular movie quote of the past 20 years is? Or what you think it might be?
I think we're going to need a bigger boat.
20 years.
Oh, 20 years. Oh, now I'm having a brain fart.
Do you have an idea what the most popular of all time might be? Or is it
I
bigger
think
boat?
We'll need a bigger boat.
I do need a bit. I don't know.
Life moves pretty fast.
You don't look
Oh,
around, you
Ferris
might miss
Bueller.
it.
That was what I was thinking.
That's a good one.
Here's looking at you, kid. I don't know. Casablanca.
That is number 5. That's the 5th most popular of all
Okay.
time.
Okay.
Yeah. I can tell you the most popular one of all time is, frankly, my dear, I Don't Give a Damn. That's the most popular one of all time from Gone with the Wind. But we're kind of thinking, like, that's the most popular of all time now, but is it going to continue to grow in popularity? And so then we were wondering what's the most. This is the question we were using for mic tests, so we could talk about things while using microphones.
That's great.
Now, I am with my other favorite Heather on planet Earth,
Wow.
Heather from Fellow Filmmaker.
Hey.
Yeah, so this is now, I stole Bronson's Shure SM57, which should, with this windscreen, sound not unlike the 58. Typically it's used as instruments, but you pop a windscreen on it, it's a great vocal microphone. I do have it boosted with the Technica CT1, and this is basically what it sounds like if I point it away from me and I ask you, how was your trip to NAB?
It was uneventful, so that's worth it.
Boring is good. So this is definitely one, because of its pickup pattern, where you would want to go back and forth and not hold it directly in the middle. But now, as we're testing this out, very important question for you.
Okay.
Filmmaker,
Yep.
do you like movies?
Yes.
What do you think the most famous movie quote of all time is?
So I would say, Houston, we have a problem.
That's a good. Okay, that's not it. The most popular one of all time is Frankly, My Dear, I Don't Give a Damn from Gone with the Wind.
Okay.
But nobody has gotten that right. Everybody who has not said the right answer has said a super interesting answer.
Okay.
Somebody said, I'm back. Somebody said, say hello to my little friend. Like all these cool things that I didn't think of.
Nice.
Anyway, this is Shure SM57, Heather fellow filmmaker, Heather fellow filmer. behind the camera. Now we are recording using the Rode Wireless Pro on the Rode Interview Go. So it's just clipped right here. Got my little reporter store windscreen on there.
You didn't ask me a question.
I did not ask you a question, but we talk about mind tricks. I went like this and you talked. So this is one, I'm using this and I'm going like this, back
Yeah.
and forth. Hello, hello, hello. But what's really cool, there we go, we'll switch. We're not
gave me the
going with
blue
your
one.
normative standards. You think I'm gonna take the blue one?
Who are you?
I don't know. Now we each have one,
Yes.
which is pretty cool. So what I wanted to try here is not only are we interviewing, but this is what I guess it would sound like if each person had their own microphone.
Okay, this is what it would sound like if I had my own and Tom has his over there.
And this is the first time in this comparison that I'm using a 2.4 gigahertz wireless system, and we're in the epicenter of every 2.4 gigahertz signal on Earth right now. So that's pretty much, if something's gonna interfere, it's gonna be this. Speaking of interference,
Cat!
kidding.
Are you offended?
No.
No.
What are we talking about?
This is
Microphones.
great. Yeah, we're talking about microphones.
Okay.
And we're just doing different handheld microphone comparisons.
Nice.
Kat Mulvihill,
She's awesome. She's awesome.
catch her channel.
Oh.
So, what do you think is the most quoted movie line in the past 20 years? So, not of all time.
The last 20 years, the most.
Keeping
You
it.
shall not pass.
Oh, that's a good one.
Over 20
I think that might be
Bronson was
21
like,
years
that's
though.
a good one. That's
Is that
not it.
2003?
You know what? Maybe give the hint of what year.
It's from a 2008 movie.
Well, there's a real answer. Yeah.
There is an answer.
No pressure. I haven't finished my coffee yet. Can I have a hint other than the year?
Oh, that would give it away, I feel like.
Christopher Nolan. Play
I'm
now.
Batman.
That's
you
actually
were
pretty
Cat.
good.
Yeah, it's actually. Should we say it or?
Okay, you ready? 3, 2, 1. Why so serious?
That's the. Yeah, I know. It wasn't Hot Rod, believe it or not. Let's try a thing though. Actually.
Okay.
Let's just walk backwards and talk. But you stay. Stay.
Stay.
We miss our dogs a lot while we're gone. I just want to see what happens in terms of reception. What if I turn around?
testing out
What if
what
I go over
happens with
here? How's my signal?
reception.
I don't know how it's
We're
going to be.
testing out
I'm
what
over
happens
here.
with reception.
And now I am standing
Tom has
next
a
to the
plan.
trash can.
I'm just
Heather can't hear
vibing.
me, otherwise we could have a conversation.
Both of us are
but
talking
she
at the
can't
same
hear me.
time. This is going to be confusing.
We're both just talking at
Yeah.
the same time. I know, that's it.
Bye, man.
So our next stop is to see a newer version of a 2.4 gigahertz system. The next road we wanted to go down is has a lot of pros on it, like the Rode Interview Pro, which as much as I want to keep going like this, I don't need to do, right?
You don't need to do it. You got an omnidirectional capsule. It's a purpose-built mic for interviews, and so your mic technique is perfect right now.
It feels, I had to like really stop myself. See, even now I pulled it back. But I'm kind of curious, so let's try. I'm talking now. If I move over here, this is what my voice sounds like.
Yeah.
And this is Ryan from Rode. What do
Hey
you do at
guys,
Rode?
how's it going? So I'm here, I'm Ryan, I'm the product director at Rode, and I'm here to talk about some of the new releases that we have at NAB 2024.
Okay, I feel like you've said that a few times as well. So we've been testing out a whole bunch of different mics.
Yep.
Earlier we did the wireless pros.
Yep.
And we were playing around with them. One thing that I've been super curious about, because this is also 2.4 gigahertz.
Yes.
And basically every 2.4 signal in the universe is in here right now.
Absolutely. Yeah, trade shows are wild for
Yeah.
2.4, 5.8, everything, you name it.
But it seems like a good place to test this. Not just the sound quality, because it's also loud as heck in here.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it's rejecting stuff, but interference and everything.
Sure thing. Yeah. And I mean, look, the best thing about the
that's right.
Interview Pro is that you have recording on board. So right now we're actually tracking directly on the microphone itself. So if you have any kind of issues with interference, with crazy distance, with you name it, you've got onboard recording on the microphone itself.
Is this a capsule we've heard before, or is it a new capsule?
It's a new capsule.
Okay.
So this is a condenser, an omnidirectional condenser capsule.
Okay.
There's a few advantages to that. First of all, omnidirectional mics far less susceptible to wind noise,
Okay.
to plosives, to things like that. Proximity effect, less sensitivity to that. And one of the really good advantages, which we kind of just touched on before, is the fact that if you do happen to move a microphone away from someone as they're answering a question, the tonality of the microphone doesn't change as you move it away. So all you need to do is compress the levels in post-production. By the way, this microphone also has gain assist. So what you're hearing into the camera right now is actually the gain assist signal. So what it's doing is it's already compressing the dynamic range of this, kind of audio capture. Even though it's a really noisy environment, we're compressing that dynamic range and sending it over the air on the 2.4 gig signal into the Wireless Pro. So raw 32-bit float on the microphone, gain assist, automatically, kind of corrected audio going over the air.
So you have a lot of things protecting you, basically.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now here's my most important question.
Yes.
What do you think the most popular movie quote of all time is?
The most popular movie quote of all time.
Don't
Jeez,
even ask
that's
how
a
we got
tricky
onto
one.
this.
Yeah.
This has been our mic test dialogue when we
That's
didn't
it.
have someone who was telling us everything you could ever want to know, and we need to do sound. I was like, let's talk
this
about
could be
movie
really
quotes.
revealing. I don't know. Is it maybe like Scarface, the "Say hello to my little friend"? I feel that. I hear that a lot. What
The most
have you got
popular
so
one of
far?
all time is "Frankly, My Dear, I Don't Give a Damn."
Really?
From Gone with the Wind.
Yeah.
The second one, though, is "Make Him an Offer He Can't Refuse" from The Godfather.
Yeah.
So you're kind of
Yeah.
close with
That's not
Scarface.
bad, yeah.
And then the second question was, what do you think the most popular one from the last 20 years is, since 2004?
That's a
'Cause
difficult one.
that was 20 years ago.
Yeah, see, that's crazy to me that was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Let me think about this for a second.
It's pre-2010.
Right, you got a clue for me on that one?
I like a lot of jokes in my videos.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of a joker myself, you might say.
Right, I see. So we're talking the Joker, huh? Are we talking Heath Ledger Joker, or are we talking...
2008.
Yeah. You know what? You got me stumped. What is it?
Oh, I mean, I thought you would be in a good mood, but I'm wondering why so serious.
Ah, I see. I got you.
Anyway, I appreciate all the support you guys have given me a lot, because I know sometimes people are like, oh, Rode sends products or whatever, but Rode has been supportive of me since my channel was like nothing. And it means the world to me, and all the cool stuff that helped me do what I do and everybody do what they do. If you want to know who I get starstruck by, Brad Pitt, whatever, no. Ryan from Rode. Definitely a bucket list. All right.
Feelings mutual.
Thanks,
Tom.
sir. Going in a different direction with a mic that picks up sound from different directions, this is the Audio Technica AT897. And sometimes I think that these mics, even though they're not made for this, they sound so good that they must be using some sort of black magic to like really make the sound work. The reason I wanted to bring this mic up, have you ever used a shotgun or this is a shotgun mic, have you used that as a handheld, like a close talking mic?
A close talking, I've never done it handheld, but I do like I've used the MKH416 and other Audio Technica ones close, and I think they always sound good. Just gotta, if you get too close, get too boomy, but yeah.
The reason I wanted to include this one is because this is one of my favorite, more affordable, like shotgun microphones. I think it's $249 is about the price point, and it's great for out of frame. If we change the audio, we could position us out of frame and get us. But I think this one and others similar to it work surprisingly well up close. And so if you're somebody who's trying to like get one mic that does both, this is a surprisingly good option. And if I say, hey Bronson, what was your favorite TV show as a kid?
Boy Meets World.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's like not even close, honestly. Topanga, like maybe one of my first crushes ever.
Okay. I just didn't. This is the Audio Technica AT897. Not typically a close talking microphone, but we're talking close. That's what it sounds like. Now, we have saved the highest quality mic for this portion of the show right here.
It's so cute. I love it.
Thank you, Bronson, for letting me borrow this microphone. The tiny microphone. Go watch his full review if you want. How much do you think, first of all, take this microphone from me.
Boop.
How much do you think that costs?
I don't know, $25?
Isn't it $10?
Oh, wow.
Doesn't it actually feel
So
kind
I
of...
actually know, I have seen this mic before on Instagram because Pearl, the golden girl, who's a golden retriever, does like eating on camera, and she just has this mic in front of her and then eats like a piece of lettuce and a cucumber and stuff. But she has this mic in front of her and it's the cutest.
I kind of feel like for $10, it's pretty good. Like I have it running wirelessly now into.
I mean, I love
this.
when Pearl uses it.
I mean, ultimately, like
And that's like an ASMR thing, like, you know? She's
Yeah.
like eating and stuff. You're supposed to hear the chew.
I think this gives you exactly what you're seeking when you buy it.
So that pretty much covers the performance of all these microphones, and I have to say the Tiny Mic, dollar for dollar, maybe the best one of the bunch. But what I really want to see also, since we're in this NAB environment and I was doing everything wirelessly, is I wanted to see how the different wireless systems perform. So we're using two different things. I have the Sennheiser and Shure UHF wireless systems, but we're also using things like the Rode Interview Pro and the Rode Wireless Pro 2.4 gigahertz systems. And at a place like NAB where there are signals everywhere, especially at 2.4 gigahertz, I wanted to see how UHF compared to 2.4 in this real world situation and scenario.
One thing I want to try with 2.4 gigahertz versus UHF, right now we're using UHF, is all this distraction, all this stuff. Bronson and I are going to take a walk all the way around the Shure booth, but the camera and the receiver are going to stay here with Heather, and we're just going to see if we can actually hear the things we're talking about as we leave. So you stay here, we're going to disappear, film whatever's interesting while we're gone, and then we'll pop out over there hopefully. All right, here we go. So, what's your NAB situation?
You know, it's been a little bit overwhelming. It's been really fun, but dude, there's just so many awesome products here, so many awesome companies that sometimes my brain just stops working.
Yeah, I got overwhelmed. We're directly behind the booth now. There's so much stuff happening. Bronson, do you have a go-to dad joke that you like to tell if like someone just needs a bad joke?
Oh man, that's a good question. Now, you know, I don't think so, but I'm sure you have an amazing one. Hit me.
Mine is, do you know why the bicycle fell over?
Why?
Because it was too tired.
Yep, that's a good dad joke, dude.
I see Heather over there listening to us. We went all the way around. Heather, could you hear us the whole way? I forgot you were monitoring what we were saying. She heard us the whole way. Okay. Earlier we did UHF around, and now you, HF and believe. Here's Aaron Precky. I like the ATEM Mini in live streaming.
Yeah.
But if there's somebody who needs to actually know how to do it,
No,
that's Aaron.
that's me. I do enjoy a good ATEM live stream.
Yes.
What am I?
It's the Rode. It's the Wireless Pro.
Why are you walking around a Shure booth
Well,
with
I sure don't want to answer that question right now.
fair?
Look, Shure has been very nice to us, and we just need to do 2.4 gigahertz. So Bronson is going to film here, and he's going to stay in one spot. We're going to walk around the Shure booth again and see how 2.4 gigahertz compares to the UHF test from earlier. Let's go for a stroll.
Let's do it.
All right. Oh, you don't want to come with it? Okay. So, Aaron.
So we have no idea if they can hear what we're saying or not.
We can't, but Bronson is wearing headphones, so
Okay.
we can't hear if we say bad things about him, like he's too handsome.
Oh yeah.
He's too funny.
We wouldn't want to say anything like that.
No.
So what happened when Aaron and I were using the Rode Wireless Pros, which now feel like a lot of maracas, but as we were maracing around the Shure booth, the signal cut out like almost immediately, and I'm not even going to show that part because it's just a long time of static and fuzz and bad sounding audio. And I do think that's a combination of 2.4 and line of sight, because we had an entire booth in between us. The booth had electrical things inside of it, computers and gear and signals and all that kind of stuff. And with the 2.4 gigahertz system, not only does distance matter, but direct line of sight really matters as well. So it was pretty much the least friendly environment for 2.4 gigahertz you could imagine, which is a pretty stark contrast to the UHF system, which didn't change at all despite those exact same factors. You could hear everything crystal clear the whole time Bronson and I were walking around the Shure booth.
We're literally just the best stuff with missing. And around the corner over here, I see Heather. I see Bronson facing the other direction.
Oh, there we
he
are.
is. And he'll know if it cut out or not. It cut out a lot, he says. Okay. Did you hear anything we said? But that's not necessarily, you might know, that's not necessarily other 2.4 gigahertz interference. That's physical objects and not line of sight.
It could be both.
Okay.
It could
Okay.
be both.
This is not a friendly environment to long distance, no line of sight, 2.4
This is
gigahertz.
not a good test environment.
Now, obviously, there's a lot you could dive into in the world of UHF versus 2.4 gigahertz, but just as a basic test, I thought that was kind of interesting. As for conclusions, I have a little bit of confusion about my conclusion. There's kind of 3 points I want to cover. First, I'm learning. Again, this is a knowledge gap for me, so if you have insights, experience, anything you want to share to help me better understand and get better using handheld interview microphones, please share that. The second thing would be if you're looking for a handheld microphone and you're not going to be a crazy person who travels with this many microphones and you just want to pick one, like a normal person, which one should you pick? I think first and foremost, your personal preference and your needs come into play. If there was a microphone that you just thought sounded better or seemed like something that would fit with the kind of stuff that you do, that's probably the one to get. There's no wrong answer. There's not like a total goofy dud that I threw in here to fool you or anything. Whatever you like, whatever gets the job done, if it works, it works. For me, my own personal conclusions, which are far from objective, and it's definitely a subjective subject. If I had to go back to NAB and I could only take one microphone to use, I would probably stick with the Sennheiser MD46. I like the form factor, I like the size, I like the sound quality, and I do really like the directionality. I know we saw benefits to omnidirectional microphones, which are really cool as well, but I like the directionality, especially in a loud environment, because even though it adds some complexity if you have to go back and forth between the speaker and the interviewee, the interviewer and the E, I like knowing that it's really doing a good job of rejecting everything that's not exactly what I'm pointing it at. And that to me just kind of gives a peace of mind in situations where there's so many things that are out of your control. So this is probably the one I would pick in a more practical sense. I do really like, I have to say, the Rode Interview Pro. There are a lot of pros to this, and I am quite impressed with it, and I really like it, and kind of heard the omnidirectional pickup pattern worked really well. I like the sound quality of it. Even though it's 2.4 gigahertz, as long as you're not doing anything crazy like putting an entire exhibit booth between you and the receiver, it's probably going to work just fine. We had no issues on the NAB floor with this, but it also with the built-in recording, that redundancy does help a lot. I just haven't been able to use this as much to really have a full opinion on it yet. But so far, I am quite impressed with this, but I still would lean towards the Sennheiser MD46 because not only do I like the mic, but I like the UHF system that I can use with it and the peace of mind that that brings, and just works really well. That being said, I also kind of like this one the best too, the SM7B, because it sounded really good. This is a microphone that's much easier to slip in the side pocket of a bag, carry around. This is kind of a nightmare to transport, so it's not the most practical, but I really like the sound quality. I really like that there's no handling noise with it, and it also does a pretty good job of rejecting unwanted sound. So this, what started as a joke ended up becoming something that I actually seriously want to work on. Right now it's kind of a little, it's a little bendy and clunky. You have like the booster and the transmitter and the little handle thing. I want to play around with this and try to find a way to like make it less janky, so that way it's an easier thing to actually use. Granted, I was at a broadcasting media audio video convention, so when people see something like an SM7B being used like this, they kind of immediately sort of laugh or are curious about it. I don't know how people outside of that niche in that industry would react to this, or if they would think anything of it, but it was kind of fun that every time I tried to talk to someone with this, I could almost like see their mood brighten just because I pulled out this goofy microphone setup. So this maybe is honorary mention as my favorite, despite the lack of practicality, and the MD46 is definitely my practical favorite microphone. And I still, again, the tiny mic started as a joke, but I was actually quite impressed with this. It did a great job and also worked really well. Obviously, this is for a, I don't know that serious journalism is going to be done with the tiny mic, but fun things, it's okay to have fun with your audio, believe it or not. And I really do want to thank Heather and Bronson for helping me make this video, in addition to everyone else who joined in the video and was okay to be a part of it. And I also want to say thank you to everyone who helped support my channel through Patreon and YouTube channel memberships. And if you want to know a little bit more about microphones and things I've learned in my journey to say adios to bad audio, check out these videos right here.